Hey guys, Toby Morrison here. Welcome to today's question and answer video. I have a question written in from Jan. Jan writes, "Hi, I am new to everything regarding chronic fatigue syndrome and to the program." Welcome to the program, Jan. "I thought I had accepted how I currently am, but last week I was so angry. I did everything to extremes, and now, of course, I have the worst setback ever. In bed most of the week. How the heck do you learn to accept this? I have just started the Mindset Mastery program." Okay, cool. So you're obviously, the first step is you're helping yourself already. So you're obviously reaching out for the right help, which is great. And just on a side note, Jan, if you've just started the Mindset Mastery program, you're going to learn a hell of a lot of this kind of stuff that will help you get over this issue that's hindering you and really it's sabotaging your recovery. So let's talk about anger first. It's normal to be angry when you're going through something like this, especially when it's so tough and when you don't expect it and when it's kind of this unforeseen issue that most people don't understand or can help with. To give you an example, when years ago, 10 years ago, when I got diagnosed with chronic fatigue syndrome, at the time I didn't know what it was, or there was no help whatsoever, and the doctor kind of was quite useless in that situation. And I remember getting home and just so angry about my life. I felt like my life had been taken away from me. And I picked up my basketball shoe. I was only like 16 at the time, so I was quite young. I picked up my basketball shoe and threw it with all my might literally onto the wall, and put a little hole in the wall, a dent in the wall. And the energy that it took me to throw that shoe was so huge that I just literally burst into tears and fell asleep crying. So just know that anger is normal and a part of the issue. However, it does get better and it can get better, and that's just one problem you're dealing with right now. But unfortunately, these kind of emotions aren't very useful for you to move forwards. And like I said, I meet so many people like this. I met, it was just only the other day I got off a Skype coaching call, and the lady in there, she was wondering why she had another setback and another setback and another setback. And she'd been struggling with lots of mental, emotional stuff, but she was running so far away from it that she didn't want to deal with the turmoil, so she'd push herself harder. Does that sound familiar at home? And what happened was that she pushed so hard that eventually everything just collapsed and she just had to stop. And it's important to take stock sometimes and realize, well, maybe I need to sit still with this and deal with this. Now, it's not about becoming some silent meditator all the time and sitting with all your problems. However, if you are angry all the time and you're pushing yourself up the wall, anger is really resolved from fear. So when we resolve fear, then anger can't really exist. So it's very important to stop and take stock of what's going on. And again, I always say this, and to you, Jen, acceptance isn't resignation. It's not that you're giving up. Maybe it's time for you to take it slow. Maybe it's time for you to slow down a little bit. Maybe it's time to listen to your inner self rather than the external self and the external world to tell you what to do. Because if you're constantly, anger is usually something that you're not happy with. So it's not about trying to be happy with your situation, but it's about being accepting of your situation. Meeting your situation with a calm attitude, with a calm, resilient attitude, with poise to know that I can get through this. But sometimes you need to let it out too, and that's absolutely okay. So remember, it's not about suppressing any emotions. If you're angry, be angry. That's great. But if being angry for more than 10 or 20 or 30 seconds or 2 hours is starting to deplete you and not serving you well, then it's probably time to change how you feel about that. And if that means you need to get help having to talk to somebody, which is absolutely a natural process and probably something that would be proactive in your plan, I definitely recommend that. I recommend some coaching, seeing a therapist or a holistic health coach who can sit with you and help you get out of the mud. And sometimes just speaking to someone can be really useful. Another thing that you can do in terms of accepting your situation is start looking at what you can do. Start to focus on what you actually can do for yourself and put that into practice. If we're constantly using our minds and thinking about everything, we become analytical, and it really makes us all tight and frustrated and way too kind of tense. But if you can just relax, breathe in and out, calm yourself down, accept the situation, but realize it's not resignation, you will be able to move forwards a lot faster and be able to just start to do what's appropriate for you. That's really what it's about, is appropriateness. So I hope that helps, Jan. Thanks for that question. I think it's a very important one. I think, I answered it because a lot of people out there are going through a similar issue. I've done a video on this topic before on how to deal with anger. It's in the YouTube video channel there. So you just have to click on that and find it. If you type in CFS and how to deal with anger, you'll be able to watch that too. There's 4 specific tips on that. All the best for now, and I'll speak to you soon. Take care.